Good evening, Rahul, and good evening to all my esteemed panelists. I've been waiting, listening to very intently to this wonderful debate, and I hope to get courtesy of 2 minutes of uninterrupted time. And welcome back, Rahul. We missed you.
Thank you.
The two issues here, Rahul. This is one point that I especially would like to make as a professional belonging to the domain of science and medicine. I think it's a very sad day for the medical professionals of Bengal, and I say this apolitically. It had become almost routine for the court to order investigations in a case to happen outside a state because the court did not trust the state's investigative agencies, Gujarat, UP, Maharashtra, Bengal, Punjab. But this is the first time that the court has ordered a mere simple medical checkup to happen outside of a state. I mean, this is profoundly embarrassing and a new law. Number two, the only way now for Partha Chatterjee to escape prison is to join the BJP. Every CBI or ED raid carries, Rahul, the baggage of being politically motivated, even if it is not, because number one, the investigative agencies are not apolitical or independent. They remain parrots. And when you domesticate a parrot, it finds its favorite shoulder. And right now, the shoulder is of Modi. Two, years of trial and error have now resulted in an established recourse that those who are raided take. A, if the raided are businessmen, they simply start or buy out a media house, and every time they are raided, their media arm cries government vendetta. And B, if the raided are politicians, they simply join the BJP. From Goa to Manipur to Bengal to Karnataka, every single politician, when in trouble, has dipped himself into this Behti Ganga that is the BJP. Then, miraculously, all leads go cold. All investigations come to a dead end. Remember Adhikari? Remember Mukul Roy and how the investigations on him went cold when he joined the BJP? And by the way, they have restarted after he has returned to the TMC. Remember when BJP's Mr. GVL Narasimha Rao had demanded an ED raid and had written to the Rajya Sabha Ethics Committee alleging involvement of TDP's YS Chowdhury in court, massive financial bungling and fraud of 5,700 crores, and sought his disqualifications over court, a serious breach of ethics, unquote. Well, before the Rajya Sabha could act, Mr. Chaudhary promptly joined the BJP, forcing Mr. Rao to eat the humble pie. That the CBI, IT, ED agencies are the most potent weapon in a politician's hand is not conspiratorial cynicism, Rahul, but a statement based on precedents. Remember, it was the BJP that staged a nationwide protest in May 2010, crying that the UPA was using the CBI to blackmail opposition leaders to toe the line on budget proposals. In September 2013, Mr. Jaitley complained to PM Manmohan Singh that the CBI was being used to frame Modi and Shah. Remember in 2008, when the left withdrew its support to the UPA, the CBI withdrew its case against Mulayam Singh, who then supported the UPA. And a year later, they promptly readmitted the case. Enter NDA, and the parrot remained a parrot, just that the shoulders changed. Rahul, just 10 seconds. The incontrovertible fact, Rahul, is that in this country, you can fool all of the people all of the time. Rahul, the naked truth is that we are cursed with electing either louts or Luddites. But I have a solution. Every time a parliamentarian disrupts the House, his term should be truncated by 4 months. Straight. 3 disruptions and he or she will have 1 year less to loot his or her constituency. What better way to turn a delinquent into eloquent? Budget, monsoon, winter, every parliamentary session is the same old story. Every year, every term, no one is interested in finding a solution. And this, by the way, cuts across party lines, across legislative assemblies, state or central. I mean, of course, what has happened in the parliament is shameful, and the opposition parties are to be blamed for it. But the fact is, are you telling me that the BJP hasn't indulged in the same? One doesn't even have to go back to the UPA era to find instances of the BJP creating ruckus, indulging in vandalism, forcing adjournment. Their leaders even saying that this was part of democracy. No. Just look at the states where non-BJP governments are functioning. Rajasthan, for example. Not a day passed by without the BJP creating havoc in the state legislative assembly, shouting slogans, disrupting the house. So the fact of the matter is, these MPs are least bothered about the severity of the punishment meted out. 1,000 rupee fine or a suspension. They are laughing at this. That is why I propose every time a parliamentarian disrupts the House, his or her term should be truncated by 4 months. This will scare them and hopefully make them behave. The sad truth, Rahul, is just 10 seconds, that democracy, more often than we'd like to admit, is not so much the defeat of the elected as it is the defeat of the electorate.